All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Blue Chip Sports Prep once again, as we do every single week with me, Coach Z, and Coach Kelly. Super excited for this week. We got a real good topic that we're going to go over, and specifics that I think, and then of course Coach Kelly and what he thinks. So, listen, if it's your first time coming here, listen, we're all about recruiting. We're all about helping you young student athletes get to the next level. And just give you some education, motivate, help navigate the roadmap and this whole recruiting process. We keep it short and sweet, go over one specific topic and try to break it down for you guys as best as we can. So what's going on, Coach?
Not much. Just trying to stay cool here in Dallas, man. It's over 100 degrees. Been over 100 degrees the past week or so. Probably gonna be 100 the next week. So just trying to stay cool, stay inside some AC, and just trying to deliver. Just trying to help as many people as possible.
Yeah. So what I want to talk about and give you young student athletes and parents a little bit more of an understanding, because listen, we both do seminars, we do workshops, we go to high schools, and we get in front of these student athletes at these schools, and we talk all about the recruiting process. And one thing that really pops up for me, it stands out every single time that I go and speak. It's always parents asking, Coach, what should we do first? What's the first thing we should do? Obviously, we got action plans and things that you can do right away. You can go and email coaches and DM coaches, do all these different things on social media. But I always like to break it down even more, because academics is everything. And I always go to academics. I start my seminars and presentations that way. I promise you, Coach Kelly digs into that almost right away. And I would just say the most important thing for me, for you student athletes right away, and you parents guiding your young student athletes through the process, number one is get your academics figured out. Go see a counselor yesterday. Go figure out if you've got all those core classes ready to go, especially if you're a senior. So we're recording this August 15th. So all the students should be getting back into school right this week, if not this week, pretty soon. But go see your counselor. Make sure and just go to your counselor. Say, hey, listen, I want to play college sports. I want to go and be a next level student athlete. I need to make sure my academics are good. I got my core classes in there. Obviously, they're good to go. Maybe you did poorly in a class. See if you can maybe make that class up. I'm not sure how that works necessarily at the high school level, but doing that sort of thing, making sure that the roadmap is good to go. So when you have that transcript ready to go, coaches can see it, and there's no time in between, and they just boom, put that scholarship and that opportunity in front of you. And let's just say you do have poor academics, or say, like me and Coach Kelly, we always talk about, that diamond when it comes to recruiting, that specific, that point, that the point of reference needs to be at least that 3.0. So if you're kind of hovering around that, now, these next couple semesters that you really need to focus in on the classes you're taking currently, so that you can make sure and get those up to where they need to be. The higher, the better. And then the second thing, that's the first thing. I would say the second thing is get connected with the NCAA Eligibility Center. Don't know what that is? You can go and Google it, NCAA Eligibility Center, or you can go to the ncaa.org and go on there and navigate through that. And what that is, they will tell you your amateur status, right? There's some student athletes out there that when they're in high school, I think it's wrestling and some of those sports, they actually become professionals and they can't be eligible to go, right? Coach, you could tell me more on that, but to not go and actually be eligible to go play. And there's other factors and things that go on. That's number one. And number two, they need to make sure your academics are good to go. You got to have that proof. And so you're telling them, hey, he's got everything done. He's got his GPA, SAT, all these different things dialed in, ready to go. And so when a coach does come in and say, boom, you're good to go, they will give you a NCAA ID. So that will follow you through this entire process, because if you're dealing with any level, especially D2 and below, they will need that information so they can go and look it up for themselves. You cannot and will not get that opportunity you're looking for if you don't have your academics dialed in and you're not connected with that NCAA Eligibility Center. And coaches just don't want that drama. They don't want to have to tell you to go do it and do all this stuff, especially if it comes to that point in time where a kid gets cut, say in the spring, or something happens and they move on, and the coach is in need right now of a player. They want those guys to be ready to go and have everything dialed in. And so, Coach, I just wanted to, I'll pass that off to you and you can give your 2 cents with that.
Absolutely. Well, you hit it right on the head. I think the most important thing for any student athlete, and I talk about this during my presentations, I have a slide that has, what you should be doing freshman year, sophomore year, junior year,
Yeah.
senior year. And on freshman year, I always tell people the most important thing that any student athlete can do as a freshman is to start getting good grades and to start establishing themselves academically. That's absolutely the most important thing any student athlete can do, is realize the importance of academics and how important it is to get good grades. Because there are a lot of athletes that say, hey, I want to play D1, or hey, I want a scholarship. Well, hey, if you don't have the minimum GPA of a 2.2 at Division II or a 2.3 at Division I in your core courses, then playing Division I isn't realistic for you. So getting good grades and establishing yourself academically, meeting with your counselor, making sure that you know what the core courses are, making sure that you're taking the core courses, all of those things are really important. And just kind of a crash course real quick in terms of core courses. Your core courses are your math, your science, your English, and your social science, which is your history. So the best way to look at it is, if you need 16 core courses to be eligible, if you take 4 core courses every year, you'll have 16, and you'll be eligible if you have that 2.3 GPA in those core courses. So absolutely what Coach Z, you're hit it right on the head. Academics are the most important thing, is the number one thing you should focus on. And I would say after after the academics, I think if you want to get started with the recruiting process, one of the things you should do as well is have a conversation with your coach, whether it's your high school coach or it's your club, AAU, travel coach, whatever it is. But just have a conversation with your coach and say, hey, coach, I'm really interested in playing at the next level. I have, goals of playing at the college level. Hey, what level do you think I can play at? What level do you see me playing at? Because that can then guide the coaches that you reach out to. Because one of the big things I always see is kids always say, hey, I reached out to this coach and this coach and this coach, and I reached out to 50 coaches, and none of them responded. And then I'll ask, well, what coaches are you reaching out to? Because if you're reaching out to coaches at a level that you're not good enough to play at, those coaches won't respond. So that's why you need to have a conversation with your high school or club coach. Let them kind of give you an evaluation of what level it is you can play at. And then that way you can proceed with the recruiting process there and start reaching out to coaches at those particular levels that your coach recommends to you. So I think those are the two most important things. Number one, academics, absolutely. And then number two, having a conversation with your coach about your desire to play at the next level.
That is a fantastic point. And I actually went over this just a minute ago, and I posted it on my IG. Go find me on IG, by the way, as well as Twitter. Throw that in there. But no, I mentioned that how important it is to have a good relationship with your head coach through this whole process, because, they're the ones that are going to give you the recommendations, down the road. Coaches have personal communication with each other, whether it's, high school to high school, high school to college, so this whole recruiting process, they can help you. And a lot of coaches keep in mind that they've gone through this process back when they were kids. Now, it may be a little bit different now, but they've got some skin in the game. And so they've obviously been through this whole recruiting process before. So definitely go and approach your coaches, as Coach Kelly said, because if you do have a good relationship with them, you have to have a good relationship with them. They will be that deciding factor a lot of times, getting that opportunity, because college coaches show up on your campus and you don't even know it. And guess who they're meeting with? They're meeting with Coach XYZ. And so build a good relationship with those coaches. And like Coach Kelly said, make sure you go and you chat with those guys and, try to help, they'll help you with the navigation process and guide you through it as much as possible, especially after a season. Let's just say it's after the season, not during the season, and you're not getting the heavy recruitment. They can give you somewhat of an action plan to move forward. I know Coach Kelly has definitely helped with that, and I've definitely helped with that when I first started, especially at the high school level. And I love that. So anyway, but those are two things you guys can do to get started right here, right now, day one, week one, however you want to put it. If you are late in the game, which we consider somewhat late when you're starting your senior year, which is fine, it's okay. Those are things to get dialed in right now, because if academics, you don't get that ready to go, you're going to be in bad shape. And if you haven't already talked to your coach about these kinds of things, then, you're behind the 8 ball. So definitely get started with those. Just like we do every single week here on the Blue Chip Sports Prep, we're going to give you guys tips, tricks, and things that you are not going to hear anywhere else. We're not here for a money grab. We're here about being real and giving it to you live and yours. And so let us know if you have anything. Coach Kelly, go ahead and plug what you got.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, I'll be getting started with the school year here coming up. I got my first presentation coming up on on August the 24th for A-Leaf ISD. It's at 1 p.m. That's actually on a Saturday, my first Saturday presentation that we're doing. So really looking forward to that. And in the process of scheduling some other presentations, I'm going to have a couple in Houston, a couple in Dallas, and I'm going to even have a couple even in Florida as well. So we're really looking to start getting our schedule filled, but we really feel really excited about this fall semester.
That's seeing if you're in one of those independent school districts, listen, you might see Coach Kelly in person. And listen, if not, Coach Kelly, go ahead and drop your website. He will work with you guys.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. My website is www.kellycollegeconsultingtx.com. So www.kellycollegeconsultingtx.com. And then also you can follow me on Twitter. It's at Kelly College Co 1 on Twitter. So make sure you follow me. I'll be dropping some, recruiting tidbits and things like that. I'll have my upcoming presentations that I'll be doing, my schedule. So feel free to follow me on Twitter. Check out my website, and you can learn everything about Kelly College Consulting.
Absolutely. Coach Kelly's been doing this for a long time, guys. Got a lot of great information, great tips, tricks, all that kind of good stuff. So definitely reach out to him if you don't see him in person. Go find us here on YouTube. Walk on Warrior, walk-on Warrior. Listen, we're dropping, these videos, a lot of tips and trips, a lot of shorts that make it easy for you young student athletes that don't have a whole lot of time. Don't be looking at it in class, or maybe you can if you got your homework done. And listen, go check me out on Twitter, Walk on Warrior. Listen, everything is just firing on all cylinders, especially on IG. And also walkonwarrior.com. Listen, got the new website up. You can work with me personally. Got free consultations on there. We'll basically just break down kind of a strategy, kind of what you're wanting to do. And then if you want to work forward, further with that with me, got some ebooks, got a course, got all that good stuff on there. So listen, walkonwarrior.com. And one more time, Coach, drop your
it's www.kellycollegeconsultingtx.com.
All right, guys, listen, hey, we always finish the podcast this way. We always say, listen, it's not about me or Coach Kelly. It's about you guys. We'll see you guys in the next episode.